Pilot Mountain Road in Utah, which is north of West Wendover at the Nevada-Utah state line. And this section goes north for quite a ways. Yesterday's section went north from US 50, US 6 quite a ways and ended up in West Wendover at the Nevada-Utah state line, and that's where I camped last night. An interesting thing about West Wendover is there's an old Army airfield there, and the fact that a lot of these old wooden buildings, these barracks and stuff like that, still stand today this many years later is kind of impressive. West Wendover is also at the edge of the Bonneville Salt Flats, but anyways, we're heading north, and then we're going to cut east on the Trans Trail. It should take us up around the top end of the Great Salt Lake. So talk to you in a little bit. Alright, this is the Trans Trail after it leaves West Wendover at the Nevada-Utah state line. We'll actually cross into we actually go from Nevada into Utah, which is where we are now, and then we take this road into Nevada briefly and then back into Utah. So it is a very, it doesn't look that bad, but it's got a really bad washboard effect. So it's very bumpy. There just doesn't seem to be a smooth spot anywhere. Hopefully it smooths out some, otherwise this is going to be a long ride. There's some big holes in this road, so there's some sections where the road will smooth out and you feel like you can pick up some speed, and then just kind of out of nowhere there will be a big pothole in the road, like a deep pothole, or maybe just kind of like a trench going across the road. That's a pretty cool view. Pan in there so you can see it, or turn so you can see it. Still on the same stretch of Trans Trail east of West Wendover. And up there is a cowboy herding cattle. Keep my distance so I don't spook them. Real American cowboys there. There's this lake along the Trans Trail. The GPS doesn't tell me what lake it is. The only lake over in this direction is the Great Salt Lake, but according to GPS, we're not close to that. So my only guess is this must somehow be a part of it. So this is a little confusing. I came to a point on the Trans Trail where there's literally two roads side by side going in the same direction, and I'm not really sure which one to follow, because there's that one and there's this one. For some reason, I feel like this one is more of a road. Nope, it's got to be the other one. Because when I look at my GPS here, it shows me too far off the line. And it's weird because there's a sign here that points to Wendover and Highway 30, and it's perfectly in line for this road. See the sign? Perfectly in line, so that if you're coming down where I was just at, you would see that sign. Whereas this isn't, and this seems like it would be less traveled. And when I follow this, it doesn't show me quite on the line either. But I'm more on the line here than I am over there. We're getting pretty close to the area where the old Trans Continental Railroad originally ran, so it could be that one of these roads is the old rail path. According to the GPS, I'm on South Rabbit Springs Road, Rouse Creek, Utah. Crossroads to nowhere. You know, there's been some spots where I've done where I've crossed over waterways. So back there, that ditch, I've crossed over some big spots like that on this trip. Holy cow! Where one of them was actually, the road actually followed the creek in sections, so I could see where this trip could get interesting if you go at a time when there's a whole lot of rain. Okay, we are now on Emigrant Pass Road, heading north here in Utah. Still on Emigrant Pass Road here in Utah. I believe the GPS says Grouse Creek, Utah. Pretty cool view across there. I really wish I could understand why. There we go. My camera's not wanting to focus. Alright, here we are. We are in Kelton, Utah on the Trans Trail. Kelton was a train station with the Central Pacific Railroad, and we're just west of Promontory, where history tells you that where the Trans Continental Railroad came together. Where we're at here now, there is a cemetery here and a little bit of remnants of a hotel that was here. Just ahead of us here is the old railroad line, and you can still see, well, there's still the little bridges, they're still intact, and the Trans Trail is going to take us on this for a little ways. So I was kind of hoping that we'd get to drive on it, and here we are. I think. Give me a minute, I'm going to let my GPS catch back up to where I'm at. Oh yeah, okay. Just to the left of me here is where there used to be a little bridge for the railroad over a little gully, a little ditch. So we should be on it right here. On the GPS, it lists this as Old Railroad Grade Road, Snowville, Utah. So we're going around a little section here. I'll just show you why. There's one of the old little railroad bridges over, you know, it's like a creek bed, and obviously just not safe to drive on anymore. I see a sign. Eleanor, mile 739.1 from San Francisco. Alright, checked out the sign, let's move on. See another sign. It amazes me that people would vandalize signs like that. Well, the Trans-American Trail turns right here. Look how bad that sign has been shot up and destroyed. Can't even see what it says anymore. So this isn't on Sam's route for the Trans-American Trail, but I'm going to drive it. This is a section of the Trans Continental Railroad. The Trans-American Trail right now is on pavement, so I know this is going to bring me back out on the pavement, so I'm just going to go ahead and drive it. I'd rather be driving on this than pavement anyways. This is the last cut of the Trans Continental Railroad. Cut through this past Promontory to meet up. Look how deep this is. Imagine people digging this out by hand. So we saw the last cut. This is where it's coming across. But as you can see, they apparently never got it finished. And instead, they ended up running it up here where we're at now. I bet those guys were pretty pissed after digging all that out when they were told that we're not going to use this. Here is where it ended up. I'm not going to go to the actual Promontory point, the meeting of the railroad. I was actually there 2 years ago, and I'm not going to take the time out to go back because obviously it hasn't changed. So, but I'll put a link to it in case anybody's curious. You can check it out. Still going at it on Trans Trail, headed northbound towards Blue Creek. Missed the turn again. Not doing well here. However, I think this is the state line. I think we're now in Idaho. This makes for an interesting road. This obviously does not get traveled a lot. I watched a video from a tent rider. I don't recall his name right now. He was riding through this area and he rode past this farm, and there was an older guy that lived here, and the guy waved at him, waved a Gatorade at him, and he circled around and stopped to talk to the guy, and the guy had seen him coming on his bike and offered him a Gatorade, which I thought was pretty cool. It's interesting when you can pass through an area or see something that you've seen on other people's videos. These hills around here are so cool looking. They just look so smooth and green. You know, they don't look all jagged and rocky like everything else I've seen in the last couple of days. Alright. We just recently turned onto Sheep Creek Road near Holbrook, Idaho. And this is the National Grasslands. This is West 12,000 North, Holbrook, Idaho.